Hello there, I'm Axel Wilkinson from fxhome.com, and I'm excited to show you the new keying tools in FX Home PhotoKey 5. If you're familiar with previous versions of PhotoKey, then all of the keying tools you know and love are still present and work exactly as they always have. But we are very excited about the new Auto Chroma Key tool included in PhotoKey 5 and PhotoKey 5 Pro, which brings some new power to your keying arsenal. So let's take a few minutes to get familiar with this new tool. When we open the controls for the Auto Chroma Key tool, you can see that they are divided into three sections. The first section controls the specific color you are removing. The second allows you to make adjustments to the matte created by the key, and the third allows you to fine-tune the edges of your key. Since this is an Auto Chroma Key, it will automatically select a color for you based on the colors present in your active image. To select a different color, you can use the color picker, or use the pipette tool to select one directly from your image. Clicking the Auto button at any time will revert back to the auto-selected color. The View menu gives three options for viewing your image to help with dialing in the key. The default is Result, which shows the image after the key has been applied. The Matte View is the same as the foreground alpha view that can be accessed from above the canvas. Black indicates transparent areas, white indicates opaque areas, and semi-transparent areas are indicated by shades of gray. The darker the gray, the more transparent the area is. The status view is new and uses only 3 tones to represent your image. Black and white work the same to represent transparent and opaque areas, but in status view, all semi-transparent areas are indicated by a single shade of gray. As you can see, if we switch back to the matte view, you can hardly notice any transparency in this area. You have to kind of look close and you can see there's something there. But when we switch to status view, it's much easier to quickly identify problem areas, especially in spots that would be nearly white or almost black in the matte view. Gain adjusts the sensitivity of the chroma key. If your green screen is uneven, adjust the gain to remove as much of the background as possible before you start losing details from the foreground. As we turn this down, you can see we start getting bits of the background appearing very quickly. And so we want to adjust that until the background is gone. But as we continue, we start losing detail from the foreground as well. So you want to find the balance there at the point where all of the background is removed, but you have as much of the foreground to work with as possible. Balance and hue balance modify the range of colors that will be affected by the key surrounding the selected chroma color. The best setting for these will vary from one image to the next, but using the status view, you can very quickly see which setting will give you the best results. The matte section gives us a variety of controls to fine-tune our key. Clip background and clip foreground are the major controls in this keying filter. They're probably my favorite part of the Auto Chroma Key tool. And they can be used to very quickly eliminate remnants of the green screen or to restore detail that was removed from the foreground. They work similar to the Alpha Levels tool, which you might know from PhotoKey 4, and are hugely useful in dialing in your key on uneven images. With this image, the background is already pretty clean. We don't have any artifacts there. But if I was to turn the gain down, now we have bits of our green screen present there. But you can see how we could very quickly remove those using the Clip Background tool. And then all of the gray in our foreground, we can likewise just bring that Clip Foreground slider down until our foreground is completely white. And the status view makes it very easy and very fast to see how accurate your results will be. I'm going to reset the gain to its default and then adjust these accordingly. Now sometimes your image might have areas where the edge is meant to be transparent. For example, lace details on a dress or in someone's hair. And if the Clip Foreground control has removed some of this transparency, you can use the Clip Rollback slider to restore it. So as we increase this, you can see how all those areas that did have transparency are gradually being restored, moving inward from the edges of the matte. Setting the Clip Rollback too high can result in some unwanted banding around the edges of the image. So depending on the image, you can adjust that control to bring transparency back to areas where it should be present. Gamma adjusts the strength of the key. With the other controls already in place, it's hard to see the effect there, but if I reduce the Clip Foreground again, then you can see how the gamma shifts the range of colors affected by the key. bring that back down. The Erode Expand tool lets you move the edges of your matte in or out. It's quite similar to the Erode tool you might know from PhotoKey 4. And typically, it's going to work best in very small adjustments to trim just a tiny bit off of the edge or add a tiny bit to the edge of your foreground. I'm going to right-click to reset that. The edge color controls help to clean up the edges of your key, which can at times be problematic. And for this, because we're dealing with the color, I'm going to switch back to the result so we can see the colors in our image. And if I zoom in, you can see there's a line right along the edge of our subject's skirt, which you sometimes get in green screen photography because of the lighting or the way your camera compresses the images or whatever. And the edge color tools are designed to help you deal with that situation. The subtract control removes the color of the background, in this case the green of our green screen, from that edge area. And so if the line was created just by having too much green there, then you can adjust the subtract control to remove that. Now in this case that doesn't really help much in removing the line, so we'll just use the recover tool instead. And the recover tool is going to borrow pixels from just inside the foreground to replace the width of the edge that we specify using the slider. You can see now that line is completely gone. If you set the recover slider too high, then you'll get some obvious unwanted banding along the edges of your image. So when using this tool, set it to the lowest number that effectively removes the line from the edges of your foreground. Well, thanks for watching. We think you're all going to like the new auto chroma key tool as much as we do. So please, give it a try and let us know how you like it when PhotoKey 5 is released. And please subscribe to our channel to catch more tutorials like this on the other new features in PhotoKey 5.